picture of success in my mind was a straight line, a clear path that led from where I started to where I wanted to go. It was a journey I thought I had to complete on my own. I imagined my path would be defined by acing every test, landing the perfect job, and achieving some big goal in life. But now, as I stand in front of you all, just a few months away from graduation, I realize that success is not a straight line at all, and it certainly is not a solo journey. It's more like a winding road, full of unexpected turns, obstacles, and moments that let us grow in ways we could have never imagined. Good morning. My name is Esther Lakatos, and I'm here to talk to you about success. Success is something we all think about. It's a word we hear all the time, but rarely do we stop and think about what it really means. At first, I wanted this speech to be about living in the moment, but then I realized that success at its core is connected to that idea. My own journey has showed me that success is not just about reaching a goal. It's about recognizing the journey toward it. This year, I have come to understand how quickly life changes, how all the grade 12s in this room adapted to boarding and spending every day with your friends. I spend every day with my roommate. Next year, that 1 second distance turns into a long flight. Moments like this make me realize how fast life really moves, and the people we share it with shape our journey in ways we often don't realize until they are further away. Now, if you know me, you know public speaking isn't exactly my favorite thing in the world. I've always been a bit nervous about presenting, making announcements, or even speaking up in class. But standing here today proves that stepping outside of my comfort zone makes me capable of much more than I ever thought. This capability proves itself in unexpected places, like in fitness class, when my teacher secretly adds extra weight so I don't realize what I'm lifting is heavier. He always pushes me to recognize that what I'm capable of is much more than I give myself credit for. Now, I'm not just talking about physical limits, but also about mental barriers. This means having the mental strength to push through even when you think you can't go any further. And that's what success is all about, pushing past what you think you can do and doing what you never thought you could. Before I begin to define this, I want to take you back to how I ended up here at Appleby. It wasn't all a part of some grand master plan, but one night I was sitting in my mom's bed, just Googling different high schools. As we clicked through a few websites, Appleby College popped up. Now at this point, I didn't know anything about the school, I didn't know anyone here, I didn't know the community, and honestly, I didn't even know where Oakville was. So I turned to my mom and said, well, at least it looks nice on Google Maps. But you know what? Something about this place just felt right. So I decided to take the leap of faith and apply. And when I got here, I met people who changed my journey in ways I could have never expected. One of those people being Miss English, my advisor. I make it very known to everyone that she is the best advisor anyone could ask for. She has always helped me figure out a plan B when life threw a hurdle at me. She isn't here today, but I'm sure she would have told me to just breathe before I stepped up here. So Miss English, if you're somehow listening, just know I remembered to breathe. And no, she's not dead, she's just in New York. Think about it. Every single one of us here all got here in a different way. And every single one of us here today didn't get here alone. Somewhere along the way, there was someone who helped you, encouraged you, challenged you, or even just believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. Maybe it was a friend who kept studying with you when you wanted to give up. Maybe it was a teacher who saw potential in you before you saw it in yourself. Maybe it was a family member who supported you no matter how big or impossible your dreams seemed. Now take a moment and think, who are the people in your life who've helped shape your journey? For me, there are a few people that immediately come to mind. My mom, whose kindness is contagious. She has shown me time and time again that success isn't just about what you achieve, but about who you become. No matter how busy she is, she always makes time for others, always shows up, and always makes people feel valued. And then there's my dad. He's the definition of hard work. No matter what I wanted to do, no matter how unrealistic this seemed, he was always there telling me to go for it. He showed me that success is about much more than luck or talent, and that it's about effort, discipline, and refusing to give up, even when those turns start to unfold in front of you. For most of my life, I was a gymnast, but then I hit a growth spurt. And suddenly, flipping through the air wasn't as fun when the ground kept showing up a lot sooner than I expected. Turns out, gravity doesn't care about your dreams. But in all seriousness, if you know anything about gymnastics, you know it's a sport that demands everything from you. Your time, your energy, your body, your patience, and your mind. I spent years going to practice, pushing myself to be better, and constantly striving to land that perfect routine, impress the right judges, and prove to myself and everyone else that I was good enough. But gymnastics also taught me one of the most important lessons of my life. No matter how much you plan, life will throw things at you that you never expected. One of the best examples of this happened right before Gymnics, an international competition in Montreal that I had been training for all season. I had put in months of preparation, endless hours in the gym, ready to compete. Everything was set. And then I made a brilliant decision. I decided to play basketball in gym class. One thing led to another, the ball came flying at me, there was some questionable hand-eye coordination on my part, and the next thing I knew, my finger swelled up like a balloon. I had to go get an x-ray. Eventually, I made it to the doctor, and after one look at the x-ray, she hit me with bad news. I wouldn't be able to do gymnastics for a while. At first, I thought I could work around this, but then I realized, no exercises that involve your hands. Let's just say, in a sport that requires flipping and swinging, using your hands is essential. Bars, out, vault, nope. Even beam required gripping, so that wasn't looking great either. When I got back to practice, my coach wasn't sure if she could take me to the competition. But then, something happened that reminded me exactly why I love this sport. Gymnastics may be an individual sport when you're out on the floor, but behind the scenes, my club teammates and I always stuck together. They all surprised me with a gift basket, full of snacks, notes, and little things to cheer me up. They reminded me that I wasn't alone, and that I had already put in the work, so no matter what happened, I deserved to be there. And that's the push I needed. I adjusted my routines and focused on events I could do. And I went to Gymnics. Was it smooth? No. Was it exactly how I planned? Definitely not. But I showed up, I competed, and somehow, despite everything that happened, I still placed. And that made me realize that success wasn't about everything going perfectly. It was about showing up even when things don't follow the plan you made. We all have this idea in our heads that if we work hard, everything will fall perfectly into place. But that's not how life works. And I know you've probably heard that a million times before, and it does sound a little cheesy, but the truth is, life has a way of throwing the unexpected at you. Sometimes you train for months, put all your work into a big moment, only to have something completely out of your control knock you off your path. But setbacks don't define success. Our response to them does. And if you think that was the end of my finger-related disasters, think again. Somehow, I managed to break the same finger twice after that. One of those times, I slammed it in a van door. Not exactly the comeback story I was hoping for. So the next time something doesn't go the way you planned, remember you can still show up, you can still push forward, and you could still succeed, just maybe in a different way than you expected. There were many times I failed, times I fell, injuries, self-doubt, and moments where I felt like I wasn't capable of anything. But looking back, those moments where I struggled weren't failures, but instead steps towards success. This lesson continued to follow me to high school and then applying to university. For so long in my life, I saw that as the goal and the moment that would define everything. It was 9 a.m. and I was half asleep in my single dorm bed when I was aimlessly checking my emails. I wasn't expecting much, maybe a school announcement or another AP capstone survey link I'd delete. But then I saw it, an email from university. I opened it, skimmed the words, and suddenly it hit me. I got in. For a second, I just froze. Then I sprinted out of my room, straight into my quad mates, because thankfully, we both had a morning spare. Before I could even tell her, she knew. She was instantly so happy for me, already telling people like she had gotten in. That's the kind of person she is, someone who doesn't just celebrate with you, but for you. And then the same morning it happened again. She got into one of her top choice universities. And at that point, we had to stop and wonder if it was just a lucky day or if we should have gone out and bought a lottery ticket. In that moment, I realized something important. Success is never just yours alone. It is shared. It is shaped by the people around you who cheer for you, celebrate you, and support you no matter what. And why did I bring up this story? After all those years of chasing this one goal, I went back to my room, sat back down on my bed, and thought, now what? The truth is, success doesn't stop. It is something that keeps unfolding in front of you. And to the grade 12s right now, a lot of us think that once we get into university, we can finally just stop. That senioritis is just a part of the high school experience. And sure, we like to think we fooled our teachers into thinking we still put in all the effort, but let's be real, they definitely see through us. Success isn't about what you achieve, it's about who you become. And that growth, it never stops. The choices we continue to make daily, the people we surround ourselves with, and the moments we push ourselves even when no one is looking. Those are the things that shape us on the journey of life long beyond Appleby. Now, I'm sure all of you have heard the name Angelina Jolie. She's an amazing actress and an even better individual who devotes her time to humanitarian work. She opened my eyes to the fact that success should never just be about personal achievement. It should be about how we use the opportunities we are given to make a difference for others. Every single one of us here in this room are so incredibly fortunate to live in a place full of opportunity, safety, and freedom. Those are three things we should never take for granted. And that's what makes Appleby such a special place. This school is filled with opportunities, whether it's in academics, sports, leaderships, or the lifelong friendships you make along the way. We are surrounded by people who push us to be better and experiences that challenge us to grow. So make the most of it. As we move forward on our different success journeys, whether that entails another year or two of high school, university, taking a gap year, starting a job, remember this: success is never a solo trek. Success is about the people who support us, the lessons we learn from setbacks, and the moments we choose to embrace along the way. It's not about having a flawless plan. It's about learning to adapt when the plan falls apart. And trust me, I learned that the hard way. So as you move forward, don't just chase success. Define it for yourself. And maybe, just maybe, try to avoid any flying basketballs along the way. Now I invite you all to take a moment and look around at the people in this room. Your classmates, your friends, your teachers, and the people who have been part of your journey. Every one of us here has faced challenges, moments of doubt, and obstacles, but we've made it here, together. So let's celebrate this success, no matter how big or small. Take a moment, give each other a hug, a pat on the back, or just a smile. We all have something to be proud of, and that's worth acknowledging. And above all, remember that success isn't just about where you go, it's about who you have beside you every step of the way. So some of the most meaningful moments in life are the ones we share, so let's share one right now and sing Amazing Grace, number 352.